We are grading some Dynasty trades on the channel today, starting a kind of a new series. We'll see if you guys like this or not, but in our Discord, there's a channel where you can submit trades and the community can talk about it. And we basically said to the community, we're going to choose 2 or 3 trades that we really want to discuss and make a video out of it. So here we are. Trade number 1, we're just going to give our opinion. Now, firstly, it's okay if you have a different opinion about this. That's actually okay.
100%.
You know, a lot of people have different opinions with the things that we say. That's all goods. Shout out to SD Perkins. He's in our follower leagues and he's also in the Discord. This was a trade that he sent through to us. You can see it now on your screen. He received Jalen Waddle, Mac Jones, the 108 in 2022, and sent away Jonathan Taylor, the most untouchable player outside of any other quarterback in Dynasty. And he got back also the 411 as a nice little throw-in piece. So, Badaki, who won this trade? Like, in your opinion, who won it?
I think there's no doubt for me that SD Perks won this trade by a mile, you know. And you kind of look at this trade and you have to break it down, obviously, on both sides. So let's look at what SD Perk received. Jalen Waddle, who's a young, top talent wide receiver. You know, he's and some people he's in the Dynasty top 5 rankings. I know Zach, he's your top 4 wide receiver in Dynasty or top 5 in Dynasty.
He's 4.
Yeah, that's massive. And then you go to the quarterback, Mac Jones. If you were in a super flex league, if this is a super flex league, which I'm assuming, the longevity of Mac Jones and the quarterback, and we saw glimpses of how good Mac Jones can be, and you know the greatness that can come out of this as he continues to develop. You know, and at the 1-8 is awesome as well. You know. You can get
some good talent there.
Yeah, you can get some people. And then you go to the other side of the trade. It's really just Jonathan Taylor. You know?
Yeah.
I think he gave away, yes, the best running back in the league, but you get a top 5 receiver. You get a decent quarterback that's still developing, but the longevity of these players in Dynasty is massive. And I think and you always say, you know, the running back lifespan is really short, and you kind of want to see what you can get now. Maybe he could have gotten even more potentially. I don't know.
Well, first off, I mean, you ideally do not want to trade Jonathan Taylor.
Right.
Outside of quarterbacks, he is probably the most valuable asset in Dynasty right now. I would argue that Jamar Chase and some of those wide receivers might be more valuable because of how I view the long-term game. But ideally, you really don't want to trade Jonathan Taylor. Do you know what I mean? However, and by the way, we all are obsessed with him for good reason. However, when you get this sort of value, this is when I think, okay, that is a great example of winning the trade, but also getting the most long-term value. Like you said, Superflex. Mac Jones is 23 years old, okay? And he just threw 22 touchdowns in his rookie season with Jacoby Myers as his wide receiver 1. In a Superflex league, this is a quarterback that we're talking about who could be top 12 for a decade, maybe more. And I always say this, you need at least 2 top 12 quarterbacks to win a fantasy championship, a dynasty championship, if you will. You can't win. It's very rare if you don't have 2 top 12 quarterbacks. And you guys know I love Jalen Waddle, 23 years old, my wide receiver 4. So obviously we view him as untouchable, but when you can get these elite assets in return, becomes touchable. I mean, that's like... Don't say that. That's weird.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Let's talk about how we can justify that maybe from the Jonathan Taylor side. The person who got Jonathan Taylor. Is there a way that we can justify that?
You know,
I have a scenario.
Okay.
But I don't know about you.
I don't have one. That's what I'm saying. I was trying to genuinely, and I just couldn't understand why he would do that.
I was looking at this trade and I was thinking, okay, if I am the Jonathan Taylor owner, because look, we are looking at these trades without full context. We can't look at the other teams. We can't see what they have in place. So yes, there will be some context missing. We're only looking at this from an outsider's perspective. But here's a scenario where this maybe could make sense. Okay, firstly, you got the best player in the deal. Can we agree? The best player in the deal went to the Jonathan Taylor side, okay? Secondly, if this is a win now squad, and let's say he has quarterbacks and wide receivers that are already starting over Mac Jones and Jalen Waddle, what if Jonathan Taylor was his missing piece? What if Jonathan Taylor is what's going to bring him a championship for maybe the next 2 years? His long term is shot. It's probably not in the place he wants it to be. What if JT is that guy who can help him win 1, 2, 3 maybe championships over the next couple years? Maybe he could be the missing piece. So
maybe
That's how I was trying to dig into the mind of the person who owned JT, but yeah, I think we're both on the same page with that one.
Yeah,
it's probably hard to justify.
Yeah, so when I was looking at it and I was like sitting down and thinking about the JT side, it's like that 4th round pick is a throwaway because he got the fourth pick in the 2022. Sorry, 4th round pick,
11th pick.
Yeah, 11th pick in the 4th round in the 2022, and yeah, it's just a throwaway pick. I would have been happy with a lower talent, maybe someone that is still developing. Because I think that's a little bit more of an even trade. And I would be like, you know what, that's okay. Yeah. He got a Nico Collins, he got a Darnell Mooney, he's even Jacoby Myers. Like somebody like that, which could be a throwaway piece. Yeah.
You know what this proves to me is if you have to pay for if you're going to try and trade for Jonathan Taylor right now, you have to overpay. You have to. No one is going to. You're not going to be able to show someone a trade calculator and say, look, the trade's even for Jonathan Taylor. Right. They don't care. You're going to have to overpay. And maybe you just don't go trade for Jonathan Taylor. I would say, let's turn that 2022 4th on the JT side. Let's turn that into a second.
Yeah.
That feels like maybe we're starting to get closer.
Yeah.
Or maybe you don't even add the picks in this trade. Maybe that becomes more relative value. So, all right, we're going to grade this trade from SD Perk's side. I gave this an A-. It's a great example of selling a young, elite, untouchable player and getting even better as a team long-term. Long-term thinking, it's really, really brilliantly done, in my opinion. What about you? What was your grade?
No, for me, SD Perks, I think he gets an A+. He hit this a home run. He gets, once again, top talent and a first-round pick. I mean, how can you... this is an A. This is amazing. I'm like, I want this trade. I'll get rid of Jonathan Taylor,
Okay. And by the way, when it comes to Jonathan Taylor, I always say this on our live streams, but look, the running back position never outlasts wide receivers or quarterbacks. So that's why I undervalue it compared to those positions. Not saying that Jonathan Taylor's less valuable. Let's look at the second trade. Okay. Shout out to Chad. The dad joined our Discord pretty recently. This is a trade that he sent through. He received Deontay Johnson, Michael Carter, gave away Saquon Barkley, and the 111 in this year's rookie draft. So who do we think won this trade, Badaki?
Yeah, I think this trade is fairly even, and I think there's two questions that you ask yourself. On the Saquon Barkley side, the biggest question is, how much do you believe in Saquon? A lot of people believe that he lost a step. A lot of people don't like the team that he's on, the offensive line. Is it going to get better? So many questions on the Saquon Barkley side. And the next question is who can you get at the 111? On the Saquon Barkley side, let's say Saquon Barkley doesn't live up to his standards and you just gave away Michael Carter. Saquon Barkley might have a year or two. Does a Kyron Williams fall to you? Does a Kenneth Walker fall to you? It all depends.
Say Spiller, right?
Yeah, maybe you take the chance at the 111 and say, you know what, I'm going to get a Saquon. But for me, it's a fairly even trade in my personal opinion. On the other side, who's Deontay's quarterback? And you can watch that video too, because we had that perspective of Deontay Johnson, if we should buy or sell it. And I said, you should sell at the right time.
I would give it a watch.
Yeah, give that a watch. I think that's fantastic in my opinion.
It's interesting. I mean, we both like Michael Carter as a prospect, but does Michael Carter have the same upside as Saquon? I know he's younger, but I don't know that he can carry an offense the way that Saquon does, even though we love Michael Carter. We love this guy.
I love Michael Carter.
One of the only people who were preaching him last year. Everyone was saying he was nothing. And then you look at, so really, I kind of look at that as a wash. So I'm looking at Deontay Johnson or the 111. What would I rather have right now? And honestly, it depends on what wide receiver I can get at the 111. Like we said, if I can get a Jameson Williams, a Chris Olave, a David Bell, maybe a George Pickens at that 111, if I can get one of those top tier talents and they develop, then maybe I win this trade. I do think, however, what I love about this for Chad is that you get rid of two unknown situations for two very well-known situations.
Yeah, that makes
guys
sense.
that are in good positions. So for me, I think this is more even than people think. Then again, Saquon. Let's look at Saquon. Has missed 21 games in the past 3 years.
Yeah.
21 games. Multiple injuries. I'm slowly and surely losing faith in Saquon, honestly. I'm the more I think about it this offseason, I think I'm out.
This is the make or break year for Saquon. You know, if he doesn't perform and this Giants offense, this new head coach doesn't come up and say, you know what, we're giving Saquon the opportunity, then after this, if that doesn't happen for Saquon, his value is dropping. So it's tough. It's a tough ride, and this is the risk you take in a trade.
At the end of the day, it comes down to, like we said, the two things. Can Saquon ever recover the form that he had? Can he even be top 10? And what can you get at the 111? So for me, I would take Chad's side of this trade. I think he did win the trade. Let's give a grade for Chad here. I'm going to give this a B flat, because there is a realistic chance that this player hits on the 111 and they get younger at the wide receiver position, you know? So I give this a B flat. I think it's a good deal. Like I said, less unknowns, but there is a chance that the other side of this trade wins.
Yeah. Look, I like A- here. I think both sides win. Both are even. You get a pick, Michael Carter and Deontay. I think it's decent in my opinion. So I just give it an A flat. In my A flat, A-. It's good for both sides.
Yeah, agreed. All right, let us know. Should we keep doing the series? If you want to be a part of it, join our Discord. Link is in the description.
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos.
Watch it.
You can also subscribe.
Right now.
If you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/fantasylandfam.